What's going on, guys? Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be. Welcome to another live stream. Been spending the last hour here trying to get the room ready to even do anything this morning. How are y'all doing? The room's gotten larger. If you've noticed. Need to get some area here. Got a lot of boxes to go through. I think last time we spoke, I expressed a concern that I wanted to get through the Spider-Man 3 figure and the Black Widow Winter Soldier. I guess somebody feels it's important to contact me right now. I'll let that go through. Do whatever it's doing. So how are y'all doing? Doing that good, I guess. Let's get some hands on her, by the way, now that I can get to my drawers back here. Yes. Let's get this box here then. So I've taken all the hands off my Fisons and put them into the catalog here. My Fisons right here. And so this figure didn't come with a figure. It was just an outfit, accessory outfit of the clothes and the head. Her little antennae, antenna. I'm not sure which would be the plural for two of them. Antennas. If you remember, one of them was bent all the way back. Over the last week, they've kind of been moving on their own. Her hair kind of got tossed up a little bit too. They've been moving on their own there. And she's kind of ended up with them moving forward, interestingly enough. Evidently. Technical difficulties. Beautiful thing about live camera, right? Jeez. Now what? Welcome to live camera. Jeez Louise. Today's going to be one of those days, isn't it? The little tripod doesn't want to stand up anymore. It's lost its strength. Stream doesn't want to stream. Zoomed in too far. Holy smokes. God. You can prepare and prepare and prepare all you want. Never ever really truly be ready, I guess. If I can get back to the feed over here. There we go. All right. Toys Mafia, good morning. How are you? Jake, how's it going? Martin, thank you. Good morning. Good afternoon. CBS Sci-Fi, hello. Hello, hello. Simon James Bishop, been a while. How are you? I'm doing well. Just got my Mark 85. Nice. I have not received mine yet. I'll be the last person. Very satisfied. Matt 2310. Hey, motion sickness. Right? I'm sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Hopefully that will end camera problems. So we'll put her over here for right now. Got 2 Detolfs that I need to assemble. They're going to be for Spider-Man figures. I need to buy some for some Deadpool figures, because he's way outgrown his shelf. Let's put these hands here in here. Just doing a little maintenance. I think I'm going to get to Spider-Man 3 this morning. So here's Thor the Fat Viking. By the way, I noticed in the pre-order announcement for the Thor figure that he's supposed to come with the sunglasses. I don't know how I didn't get the sunglasses. I'll have to contact the seller, because I bought it from a third party off of eBay. Find out what happened to my sunglasses. Or did he not come with the sunglasses even though he was supposed to in the pre-order? Because that happens. For instance, the Miles Morales figure showed us that he was going to be coming with lifted up mask. He did not. And this is evidently a watch, is what this is supposed to be. I couldn't figure out what that was in the unboxing video, but that's supposed to be a watch for Thor. I don't know if you can see that. It's supposed to be a watch. And it's supposed to be Fat Thor. This is Green Goblin. Put him in his little box here. Thought I just saw a pumpkin someplace. I put it in there with Thor for some reason. And let's get Punisher in his little box. Netflix Punisher. Did he come with 2 sets of hands? Or are these Thor's hands? So these are his hands. A lot of accessories with that Netflix Punisher. Make some room to get something done here. We're working on this for an hour. You wouldn't believe it, would you? Look at this mess I've created. Jeez. Prepare. Never enough time. Should have started on this yesterday. I did start on this yesterday. This is what I wanted to get to. What did I get new? Something that came new. Oh yeah, the night monkey came also. Let's go through this and then we'll get to the night monkey. This is Amazing Spider-Man. This is Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Which this one is. So the seller said that this was brand new in box, and I had some concerns with it when I opened it. So I want to make sure that it truly is brand new in the box. And not damaged. The R2-D2 that the seller sent me that was broken. I went back and looked at the images, and the images aren't even the one that he even sold me. The images he included was the exclusive deluxe version with the 6 arms instead of the 3. But I think I only paid $120 for it, which is cheaper than you could have bought it brand new. I think it was 150 or 130 or something brand new. So for the price, I'm going to stick with it. I'm not going to complain too much about that. And I'm going to repair it and use it. Throw them on the back of the land speeder. So I noticed some different webbing here. So this is an older figure. This came out see, when did this come out? Do you guys know? 2013 is the age of this Spider-Man from Hot Toys. And they had a different way of doing the webbing then. Looks like this goes over to wrist pegs. Interesting. So the webbing is actually unique in that regards. Both pieces, the blob webbing and the straight line are different than what we get nowadays. So here's the straight line one that we get now. And this is the one that came with the Amazing Spider-Man 3. Totally different cast of webbing there. If you can see that. I thought they were the same from images that I've looked at, but they are not. And let me find some blobs here. And there's your blob difference. Quite interesting, huh? Making more room here in this room, making room in the room. So stuff is kind of just stacked up more so than normal. And stacking stuff up won't be normal after I make the more room in here. That will be a thing of the past. So we get an Andrew Garfield head. Pretty good likeness of him. comes attached with a neck, but the neck appears, it does, come off. So maybe we can interchange him with other Spider-Man suits, like from the PlayStation series of Spider-Man, right? Why not? Especially if you're an Andrew Garfield fan, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man fan, if that's your Spider-Man. And I say that because, everybody kind of grows up with a superhero, a Batman or a Superman or a Spider-Man, and you relate to that one more so than any other, because that's your Batman or your Superman or your Spider-Man. I personally like Tobey Maguire, and I'm really growing very fond of Tom Holland. Andrew Garfield, I've never felt for Andrew Garfield that much. I think it's because I was just a little bitter that they didn't continue the Tobey Maguire series of it, and they rebooted the Spider-Man story again. So I was a little bitter over that. With Tom Holland, enough time had passed, in my opinion, after Garfield, and it was a totally different. Well, Garfield's totally different, but it was the Marvel Cinematic Universe had kicked in, and they were blending him into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I had a little bit easier time accepting Tom Holland, even though, in my opinion, Tobey Maguire, even though the webbing came out of his body instead of through shooters, was really the only problem I had with Tobey Maguire Spider-Man story. Um, um, Tom Holland seems to work for me as an acceptable Spider-Man. So this is the one with the gold lenses in the eyes. It's interesting how they included the stand in the area where the figure was. The figure is actually on the stand, more or less. The stand should have never been used. I think my concern was that this seemed to not appear to be new in the way that it was put together, but it appeared to be new. So it was almost like as if someone had gone through the extra steps to really pass this off as new, even though it wasn't. So that's why I wanted to go over this with a fine-tooth comb for that reason, see what was actually wrong that wasn't being revealed to me. Very, very limited in accessories. We have the wrist pegs. We have the two relaxed hands that are on the figure. No Way Home. Yeah, I seen that. I didn't see the trailer. I seen the review of the trailer. I want to watch the trailer, the new Spider-Man movie, No Way Home. It's interesting that they're keeping with the Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home. So definitely their thing, right? Two Fists. I really like the way that they've done these. The texture on these looks really nice. So these are two straight up fists. You're not putting anything in this. It won't hold any webbing. This appears to be new. I paid for it new. So somebody bought this in 2013, set it on the shelf, and then literally left it there. I'm not seeing anything so far, and that was my concern over this, was that it opened, but as I addressed one time before, if you're the original purchaser of a Hot Toys figure, and Sideshow probably has this exact same policy, and then you sell it to somebody else, you never opened it, you let them open it, if there's anything wrong with that figure, there's nothing they can do, even though it's brand new, because they're not the original purchaser of it. You, being the original purchaser of it, are the only one that can make any supposed legal claim against the company in regards to the condition or the damage done of the figure before it arrived to you. So I understand people claiming that they're opening it up to inspect the figure, but I wonder, like for instance, on the Iron Man figures, if they're like literally opening them up and putting batteries in them and all that to make sure that that works, because there have been many instances when those pieces didn't work. So this is an interesting um, web holding hand instead of a straight up fist, but the web would go into this. Very interesting. And of course, we get the I love you thwip hands right on the floor. And then we get grasping hands. What we don't get are, and I guess they weren't doing it this time, are the spread out pressing hands that Spider-Man is so well known for, as he's pressing against the wall or against the floor. He spreads everything out, and his fingers even go as far as to bend back a bit. These are definitely grasping hands in their shape. These right here are. And this is everything. So let's look at this figure closer. In the instruction manual, in case there's anything that I need to know. Old figure, 8-year-old figure, at least 8 years old, brand new. So far, it seems that way. It says, ever since Peter's parents disappeared, he has struggled to find his purpose in life. Now on the brink of unlocking the mystery about what happened to them, he must face the ultimate challenge, one that has been created within the laboratories of Oscorp. Good old Norman Osborn. His good buddy Harry. Green Goblin. It's good looking artwork on this. The box looks immaculate as well. I must say, really, really impressed with this find. And he looks great. I mean, he really looks new. So I really, so far, it feels like I really lucked into a new 8-year-old piece. Nothing loose. I mean, he's holding straight up. Nothing's flipping about. I mean, I don't feel anything loose. For real. So if he was displayed, he was definitely cleaned well. I don't see any bends in the suit, wrinkles, or anything. By the way, which one of you was it that said you were interested in the negative suit, Spider-Man? I didn't see any contact from you, but definitely hit me up. Um, I'm not giving them away, but I'm going to give you a deal. I'll tell you that much. And literally, all I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this new one I have, take out that Spider-Man in, and put the other Spider-Man in. So all the accessories, I'm not even going to touch the other accessories. It's going to stay just as that. So you're going to get it practically. All the accessories will be brand new. Oh, this is neat. This is cool. How they've done this, and I can see how this could be a problem. The the head and the neck obviously are separate, as we've seen with the head sculpt over here. And I mean, it's really separate underneath a cloth like mask. So as I turn this, it actually wrinkles up. So, which really affords some believability to this. But I can see how this could truthfully be a problem if you have one of these. You track one of these down. Um, you definitely want to make sure that you pose this head specifically to as not put any wrinkle or bend in there. That's neat. I've not seen Hot Toys do that with any other figure. So the head and neck are actually separate, but not, because the cloth is attached to both pieces. It has a very interesting way that it attaches to this body. If you can see that. So I started collecting Hot Toys in 2015. I found out about Hot Toys, of course, with the Tron Light Cycle. I thought that was really super neat, but I didn't start collecting them until 2015. And that doesn't look bad at all with the Andrew Garfield head sculpt on there. No, I really think I lucked out into a brand new piece here. Quite impressed. Quite impressed. So he has his little web shooters here up on his arms, which I appreciated in the Andrew Garfield, that they gave him back his web shooters instead of it being his body that created the webbing. But I really enjoyed the Tobey Maguire storyline of how Uncle Ben and everything. I like how in the Spider Verse they're like, okay, one more time for the last time or something to that effect of telling the story. We've been told the story so many times of Peter Parker's becoming Spider-Man. But I felt that they told the story very well in Tobey Maguire, very close to the original comic book stories. Savon Mason, how are you, man? Simon James, Negative Suit is great. Yeah, I bought my first one, and I posed him. Where am I pointing at? Where is he? I'm pointing like as if he's over here, and I don't see him. Where did I move him to? Oh, there he is in the bottom of the dead top over there. I posed him into an action pose and left him in that action pose for quite a while. And if I remember correctly, right here on his hip, some of the paint application came off from it being cranked up, of him being in a squatting, or he wasn't squatting, he was in a swinging mode with his knees up by his elbows, and just swinging around, holding onto the cell phone. And I thought it was a pretty good looking, clever action pose. And he sat there that way for, I don't know, ever since I bought him. I put him in that pose, put him in the Detolf, or had him sit on the shelf. I forget where he was exactly. And I looked at him last week or something, and right here there's a little paint app that got bent and had popped off. And so that made me very angry. So I bought another one, and I'm willing to sell that to anybody who wants it at a pretty good price. Like I said, I'm not giving it away, but I'll hold on to it before I'll give it away. But someone had said they were interested in it. So I have my replacement that I bought that, like I said, I'll just swap bodies out and put the old one in, and there'll be nothing going there. Max King, howdy, man. Jake looks great. What a figure. Can't wait to get my upgrade suits. Yeah, me too. So I keep them in a museum pose. Yeah, so literally, I 100% agree with you. Any type of figure, these type of suits, all right, definitely straight up, standing there. This is what we call them, the museum pose. No action to them, just straight. You don't want to do any bending to them. And I've heard people say that time and time and time again, and I kind of paid attention to it and kind of tried to be careful. I just didn't think for 1 second that negative suit was going to be a problem. By the way, it says not to extend this figure's arms past that level right there. So they know there's going to be problems. And that was an addendum to the regular instruction manual. Single sheet instruction manual. If you've been following Hot Toys for a while, you remember they did this for a little bit. So it shows how to swap out the head, which we already went over, and it says not to try to take the neck off of the face mask head because it's all one piece. And just as I had theorized, it shows the little ring there going on the wrist peg for the web shooter. It says insert into the hole in the fist as shown. In the fist, there's no hole. And I mean the full straight on fist. In this web swinging fist, there obviously is a hole right in the middle of it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a little bitty tiny hole dead center of that you would stick the webbing into. Instead of it just going into his grip between his finger and his thumb, there's actually a hole that it goes into. So I would caution you in doing that, if you can even see that, where that hole is, to be careful with the webbing. And so what they show is where the little hole is. If you can see where that hole is in his fist there. One thing it says is that this webbing can come off of the figure through excessive, what's the word they're using? What's the word they are using? Excessive twist or rub on the body may damage the cobweb pattern. So I've seen that on some of the ones that people have sold where that has been rubbed off. So be careful with it. And they said don't pull the boots off of the legs, and there's the articulation of the feet. So 8 years ago, they were warning us of this type of a material, that it can come apart. I've not seen that warning on any of the other Spider-Men or any of the other suits that I've seen about bending or rubbing the suit and cause the webbing to come off. Maybe it was there and I just don't remember it. But there again reaffirms museum pose for your Spider-Man figures for fact. It's the truth. Unless you don't mind damaging him. Like I did my negative suit. Get them into some drawers here. Get him set aside. And let's go get the night monkey. This box is in the other room. Well, I swear to God, I got my night monkey. I can't find him. Maybe I'm confused. Is that possible? Sorry about that. Probably got you all excited about the night monkey. I'm excited about him. Why do I think that I got him? Maybe I got notification that he's being shipped to me. I just assumed that I'd received him. Give this a check. Address the ankle issues with the Tom Holland figures. What's wrong with the ankles on Tom Holland? Black Widow, Winter Soldier, Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man. Spider-Man 3, not Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3, not Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man 3. So I did the Andrew Garfield. Let's open up the Spider-Man 3. So this was the last Toby figure, or the last movie with Toby. And again, these boxes, again, speaking of old figures, these I've seen a lot on eBay where this has just been ripped clean off, by the way. Creases. Which Tom Holland one are you speaking of, Simon? And this came out in 2011. And I think the reason this is on there as well, because it was another one that I thought I must have ordered as brand new, and I had some questions as to whether or not it truthfully was brand new. So let's hope we're just as lucky with this as we were with Andrew. Thought I ordered a black suit Spider-Man too. I don't see him here. Howard Master Tai Jin, head sculptor. Accessory sculptors are Kuhei Okui, Louis Luke, and Eddie Lau. Costume product designer Lim Young Jin. Accessory supervisors Roy Chiu, and T.S. Wong. Painting controllers Jason Wu and Monster Jr. Package designers T.F. Wong and Monster Jr. Photography directors Eddie Au and Monster Jr. 2011, 10-year-old figure. Let's see what this says. Right there. Limited edition collectible figurine MMS 143. Peter Parker finally manages to strike a balance between his devotion to MJ, Mary Jane, and his duties as a superhero, but there is a storm brewing on the horizon as Spider-Man basks in the public's adulation of his accomplishments. Peter's pursued by Gwen Stacy, who rivals MJ for his affections. Peter becomes overconfident and starts to neglect the people who care about him most. His newfound self-assuredness is jeopardized when he faces two of the most feared villains ever, Sandman and Venom, whose unparalleled power and thirst for retribution threaten Peter and everyone he loves. My biggest problem with Spider-Man 3, everyone spoofs, the cocky, dancing Spider-Man, slick hair back. That doesn't bother me. The black suit Spider-Man doesn't bother me. It was Venom. Who was it? Was it Topher Grace played Venom? Is that right? They really underplayed Venom. Venom was an Olympic power lifter or some shit. Was his story. Something on this front here. A big guy. I mean, just a huge guy. Eddie Brock was. And they just really, I think, miscast Venom for that. And then they killed Venom at the end. And I theorized that on Spider-Man 4, because it was a 5-movie deal they'd originally signed, that we were going to get the Life Foundation out in San Francisco. We're actually going to find Venom was still alive, and he was out there, and they're going to continue on. And that was my thought. And then, of course, Spider-Man 5 was going to be with Carnage. That was my thought to the whole process. And none of that came to fruition. They decided to reboot it with Andrew Garfield as the Amazing Spider-Man, and they ended the Tobey Maguire line. And but I think, in my opinion, the biggest fail in that movie was Venom. And it wasn't the actor's fault. It was just the writers and the vision that they had in creating Venom for that movie. It was just terrible. And then they had no business killing Venom. It really was the wrong way of handling that. They did it wrong. They did it very wrong. So I think, in my opinion, that's what killed Spider-Man 3. It had really nothing to do with the, in my opinion, again, it really had nothing to do with the dancing, crazy, slick back, dirty, naughty Peter Parker. That wasn't the problem. I don't have a problem with that as well. Also, Mysterio was supposed to be coming about in episode 4. It was Bruce Campbell, who was related to the director, Sam Raimi. And remember, Bruce was in each one of those movies. He was the wrestling ring announcer in the first movie. He was the guy that stood outside of the theater where Mary Jane was performing, and then he was the maitre d' at the restaurant. And so essentially, he named Spider-Man. He thwarted Spider-Man, and they were actually creating a very good lineup lead up to Mysterio, unlike in Far From Home. I don't even know if the actor that played Mysterio and the storyline that he gave us, I don't even know if he was anywhere in the Marvel Cinematic Universe before making his appearance in the Spider-Man movie as Mysterio. He supposedly was an employee of Tony Stark, and obviously Stark Industries is huge. He could have been anywhere, but I don't know if we ever seen him in any other movie. Does anybody know if he was actually a character in any other movie? Whereas in the Spider-Man storyline, the first Tobey Maguire movies, they were building up to him. Mysterio originally was an out-of-work actor, and he blamed Spider-Man for loss of his job or something. I don't remember what the whole story was in the comics. Kind of like Eddie Brock blaming him for losing his job too. But it's unfortunate whenever they just throw a character into us like that. Same thing they did with Count Dooku. It was just all of a sudden he's the bad guy for like no apparent reason. I mean, obviously sometimes bad guys just appear for no apparent reason, but it's nice when you get to see the build up to a story of how that goes. Shelves are was originally bookshelves, so these the black and white shelves were bookshelves that I use to store the figures on, and a bookshelf only is like 11 or 12 inches deep compared to a dead top, which I think is 13 inches deep or 15 inches deep. I forget. Let's find out. Uh, 13-ish, and this is 9.5. So you, and the height on this is only like 13 inches. Yeah, 13.25 inches, which severely limits how many types of figures you can put on there. Some of the figures actually have to shrink them down by spreading their thighs out or bending them at the knee, even to get them in there, especially if they're on a figure stand. So I need to slowly get them all into Detolfs, but each one of these Detolfs cost me $100, even though they sell for like $59. When you get the lights and the delivery and the tax and everything else, looking over $100. And that comes down to the point of when I started collecting, you could buy figures for $200. The Detolf was half the price of a figure. And it's like, let's see, do I buy a figure for $200 or do I buy a Detolf for $100? Figure, of course. I've got a place to display them. Was my thought process. Now the figure's $300-$400 or more. Detolf is still around $100. I think, as a matter of fact, the Detolfs have come down. I think back then they were like $99 plus. So now they're $59 or something like that. And plus. So that's why I don't have a lot of Detolfs compared to some other collectors, some of the other guys who have focused on storing the figures properly, and I respect that. I just didn't do it. So I think this was the one actually that I was really concerned about in regards to it claiming to be new. So this is one I really want to go over with a fine-tooth comb. It's not as tight as Andrew was. We have a little hip play right there on this left leg and on the neck. Now that may truthfully be an issue that it was from being brand new. More likely it's from being displayed. But this left hip is loose, and the neck at the body is loose. Figure base has some scratches on the bottom of it, indicative of it being on display. This was the one that I think that when I opened up, I was like, this level of deception is remarkable. And because I've unboxed a lot of Hot Toys figures, I know what a brand new Hot Toy is supposed to look like. And a scratch on the bottom of the figure stand does not happen on a brand new Hot Toy figure. Again, I have no problem with one that's been displayed. Mine are displayed and loved. I have a problem with somebody claiming it's brand new, never before touched by anyone other than the manufacturer when it has been. Just say nearly new or something to that effect, or lovingly displayed, or however you want to say it. But don't sit there and claim that the figure's brand new when obviously it's not. Ankles are really loose. But again, now that could truthfully be a hot toy issue where they just came that way. More than likely, though, it's indicative of the figure being displayed. These ankles are very loose, broken almost, as a matter of fact. And they are broken. Ah, jeez. Correct me if I'm wrong, but your feet shouldn't be doing that, right? That's a problem, right? And if you have this figure, do his little feet do that? Way too loose there. Yeah, this figure's been displayed and played with a lot. A lot. But as you can see, they've put the hands back on there very beautifully. If the suit is fine, okay, I believe I'll be fine. Because I've seen a lot of these where this material on these suits has dissolved clean off of it. And that's really what's important to me, I guess. Yeah, that's what I also have to calculate as well. What did I pay for them? What did I actually pay for it? Like I said, with that R2D2, which is not the exclusive version, he didn't advertise it as the exclusive version, but the pictures that he included were of the exclusive version, which has the six. The difference between the deluxe and the exclusive, yeah, that's this was literally put on there to make it look like as if it was brand new. This tape just slid clean off and was wrapped up there. So anyhow, the difference between both the R2D2s are called the deluxe version, and then the exclusive version included six of the arms, these little attachments that R2 has, and the regular deluxe I think is kind of sanded on the bottom, as in the coloration is brown, like he's been on Tatooine, and the exclusive he's more shipboard, if you will, clean as far as that goes. And he came broken. That R2 did. Um, his little ocular on the top of his dome was pushed totally in, and the guy didn't claim he was new in the box. He did say pre-owned, so I have no problem with that, I guess, in that regards. And because the price I paid, like I think I said it was $120 is what I ended up paying for him. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to send it back. I did get cheated out of the exclusive, um, the the hollow chest. Uh, help my Star Wars language. Um, the hollow chest. The guy sold an exclusive version, which came with two additional chest pieces, and there wasn't two additional chest pieces in it. It wasn't the exclusive version, and I told him that, and I'm sending that one back. Started the return on that. I'm not going to pay whatever it was, $300+ if it's not the exclusive. Right, and that's my opinion too. I mean, the prices I paid for these were prices that I had no problem paying, even if I paid $800 for a figure. You know what I'm saying? I agreed to that price, but I agreed to that price under the condition that you're stating or claiming that it is. By golly, if you want $800 for a figure, and this wasn't $800, I don't know what he was. I'll have to look it up. If you want $800 for a figure, by golly, it better be an $800 figure because you didn't do anything but just be lucky enough to buy it and then go from 200 to $800. And again, if you stored it and you got loose joints because of that, you might want to put that in there. It's been on display or whatever, and then I can make a determination if I want to pay that price or not. Simple as that. You can't compare your figure to his figure or vice versa if the two of you didn't display your figure in the same manner, or if one of you didn't display your figure at all and the other of you did, then obviously there's going to be a difference between one that's never been out of the box compared to one that has been out of the box. And in the case of Iron Man figures specifically, around that time frame, the 2015 and earlier time frame, the batteries are still coming in the figures. So you need to keep that in mind when dealing with a new one, because hopefully the batteries didn't rot out inside of it. So you almost want it to have been displayed with the batteries removed from the gosh darn thing, so that they don't end up rotting away inside the figure. So looking at this, I'm pretty pleased. I don't like the fact that he's loose. If any of you are familiar with this figure, if you could tell me if your joints are that loose, specifically the ankles, so I'll know whether to accept it as such or to know that I'm being scammed totally and completely in regards to this. Because he ain't standing up on his own. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. But if that's how he came, well, that's how he came. And then with these wrinkles on the ankles there, you can see that on both of those ankles where the materials is gathered from that, which leads me to believe he was in some type of a pose. I have a hard time believing that these ankles are supposed to do this. Maybe they did. But if one of you can tell me if you happen to have this guy, I'd really be interested in knowing where I am standing in regards to this. But he's definitely been displayed. All the evidence points to that, without a shadow of a doubt. Definitely not brand new. Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 3. Interesting, here's the bottom of the feet. How they did that then. Nobody looked at the bottom of the feet, right? What should it matter at that point, right? MMS 426 and the upgrade suit. I think I'm picking up my first Modu case, up $250. Those are some good looking cases, heavy duty cases, black cases. As a matter of fact, I think that's the only color they come in. The Nobi has those at his house. Big cases, very sturdy. I don't mind paying more for the. Is it the one with the Sandman base, or is that the black suit Spider-Man? I don't remember. This comes with. I thought this was the Sandman base, but I don't see Sandman in here. It's this the little side of the building case display. I thought this was the Sandman one. Drop my little instruction manual here. Yeah, this is a little scratch on it too on the bottom for it was displayed. So evidently, at one point he was displayed on this also. Snaps together as such. Figure something out with this. Definitely be integrating it somewhere, I'm sure. Original Ant-Man Hot Toys mint. No degradation of the suit at all. Just have to keep them in good environment. Well, I live in a no humidity area. The air conditioner is on all the time. It never gets hotter than 73, never gets colder than 68 in this house. And this suit right here dissolved. Never displayed in any manner other than him just standing here. And all the little black plastic just dissolved right off of it. Northern California, we have virtually no humidity. And his suit's just totally dissolving. So the window there, the shades are pointed up, so the sunlight's not coming in. So there's no direct sunlight beating down on him. You can't necessarily say that you can guarantee your figure is going to not fall apart on you. You know, world, where's his little ankle? What the hell? There's a little ankle post. Jeez. Yeah, this really kind of pissed me off that did that. By the way, and that was bought brand new. Very interesting webbing with this too, compared to some of the other webs. Has the same way that it attached through the wrist pegs. And these are different than Andrew's. Glob webs, and we get a really long webbing here. Two of these. There's a guy on YouTube, I guess Posing with Peter, that uses saran wrap to make webbing with. It's a really neat way of doing it. Interesting webbing right there. He has a really neat way of doing that. It's pretty impressive. Comes with extra wrist peg adapters for the web. This is interesting. I wonder if I can integrate this with other suits. These could be very valuable. Guess we get relaxed hands on Peter here. This is total cloth, by the way, compared to this latex or rubber that this is. We get two I love you hands, whip hands, two grasping hands, instead of the spread apart finger hands, two grasping hands. I don't see if there's the hole in this. Yeah, there is. The two fists that have the hole for swinging web, and then two fists. So the same style of hands that came with Garfield, Amazing Spider-Man came originally with Spider-Man 3 here. And an extra set of wrist pegs. So what I need to do is I need to check this listing out to see what the seller actually claimed, and I might be contacting the seller. It's one of you guys come and talk to you. You have to make this right. If I overpaid for this, one or two things are going to happen. I'm going to send it back. If I paid $800 for it, it's going to go back. But it was a good price. I'm going to keep it. So if it was one of you guys, just know I'll be reaching out to you. I'm going to be reaching out to you. No doubt about that. Do you have a preference on what figure I should open up next? I've got a lot of figures here. Got some in the other room I haven't even brought in here yet. If you watched 2 weeks ago, I did this massive unboxing of everything that came in. Had some more figures come in. Florida, high humidity. I lived in Florida for a while. NKSG, how's it going, man? Good seeing you. Florida's high humidity. High humidity. Like 90% all the time, it seems. So when it's hotter than it actually is when you go outside. And our humidity is like virtually non-existent. So when you walk out here, it's hot. It's not oven hot. It's just like normal hot. It's like if it says it's 95 degrees outside or whatever, it's 95 degrees outside. Now, in Arizona or whatever, in the desert, they have zero humidity, and it's like oven hot. We don't have oven hot. We have hot. And then, in Florida, you have like sticky hot where there's literally water in the air, and it just really clings to you. So, good morning, Robert. How's it going, man? Up to you, boss. Just glad to be here. Let me go get these other boxes that are in the other room that I haven't brought in here that I did. I moved the table closer. I got rid of the tables that are over there, moved them in the living room because they're really the stuff that my wife uses. So I decided to get those closer to where she's at. Moved everything closer so we're up against the wall over here. I'm going to put the two new Detoffs here. Give me some more room here. So let me go get those other boxes of yours that have come in the last couple of days. Tell you what else is being added to the collection. I wanted another Jawas, so I bought one of these original Jawas. Jawas. Adding to my Black Widow collection, I thought I only needed one Black Widow. Originally, I bought the Age of Ultron Black Widow was the first Black Widow. I'm now adding the Black Widows. So this is Black Widow from the Avengers. I also have over here the Black Widow from where's she at? I have another Black Widow, so we'll see her right now. Pull up my thought. Spider-Man 3 black suit. Maybe we should do that next. Spider-Man 3 new Goblin. This was DeFranco, right? Played him. Odin. Guardians of the Galaxy Drax. There's another Black Widow. I had another one. It's Iron Man 2 Black Widow. And finally got around to getting an Avengers Hulk. This is the Hulk Bruce Banner. My Avengers Hulk was a Crazy Toys. So this is supposed to be brand new also. Never before opened, and it appears so. So we'll get to him one of these days. Shortly, I think. Make sure I got enough room for him. We'll do the black suit Spider-Man next. Kind of feel like opening the black suit Spider-Man. It's making this a Spider-Man show, right? I've not watched the last couple of WandaVisions. Now, we can't talk about WandaVision, so no spoilers. So after the last one airs, I want to give it a week. Let's see. Good morning. Looks like you moved. Yep. WandaVision episode 8 was so intense, and Dan can't wait for the next week's finale. So we can't talk about WandaVision. I mean, we can talk about it, okay, but no spoilers. Don't divulge anything. There's a lot of really good spoilers. I think I'm on episode 5. I'm on the episode with the recast of a character, which I thought was done really cool. I can't wait to watch the episode where that's actually brought into a full episode instead of just the end. And yeah, they do seem short. I don't even know how long they are. Next up, Winter Soldier. I want to see that Loki series. Yeah. Dan, Bucky, and Sam Hot Toys. Yeah. I got the Bucky and Sam. Bucky from the Sam from the first one. So I originally bought the second one, which was from Civil War. So now I have the Winter Soldier one. Added that. West Coast Vision. That'd be cool. Black one is one of the sand base. Awesome. Let's get them open. Disney for a month. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Good job, Robert. Good job. What'd you think of the Mandalorian? And I tell you, if you're a so obviously this seller isn't trying to fool anybody that this is a brand new, never been open box. So again, like I said, I have no problem buying a used figure. Just make sure that I know what the hell I'm dealing with, so I can decide whether it's something I want to handle or not. You know what I mean? I've owned Hot Toys. I know what problems I'm going to be encountering in the owning of a Hot Toy. I have super glue for a reason. So, just be upfront and honest about it. I don't mind paying crazy money for a figure if it's a figure that I really want. Don't tell me it's brand new if it's not. That's, you're going to get yourself in trouble that way. Because sometimes I don't want a brand new figure. I don't necessarily want to buy a 10-year-old Iron Man figure that's brand new. Well, they wouldn't be 10 years old, would they? What was the first one? 2011, I think, was the first Iron Man figures. If the batteries are in it and they've never been removed, probably going to have some problems there. So if any of you have an Iron Man figure you've never unboxed, that's a few years old, you might have cracked that bad boy open. Take them batteries out. I don't remember what year it was they quit putting the batteries in them. 2015, I think. So, I don't remember exactly. I don't remember if my Python and my Midas came with batteries in them or not. So, they used to come with the batteries in them, and there was this little piece of plastic you pull out. The slot is still there on many of the figures. There in the battery door, where you'd pull the plastic out to actuate the batteries. You didn't have to worry about putting them in. But if those batteries have been in there for 8, 9, 10 years, you could be in trouble. You could really be in trouble. So if you've got one you've never unboxed, Iron Man figure, or any figure that has batteries in it, you're going to want to take those batteries out. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Trust me on this. We can go through the instruction manual on Spider-Man 3 here. Let's do that real quick. Yeah, if you're a 4, 5, 6 if you're at episode 4, 5, 6 Star Wars, which of course we call the first 3 as old farts. It wasn't called Star Wars: A New Hope when we seen it. It was called Star Wars. Anyhow, if you're a fan of 4, 5, and 6, then you definitely need to watch The Mandalorian. And I'm glad to see you did that. And like he said, get Disney for a week, watch The Mandalorian. A month. Watch The Mandalorian. Watch Wanda. And if you don't want to keep it, cancel it. Pick it up again in a year when the series start coming back out again. You'll figure out how you want to do that. So the first thing it talks about is excessive twisting or rubbing on the body can destroy these webbings, and I've seen a lot of these where the webbings have just dissolved right off the figures. Do not attach the boots with excessive force, otherwise it may shift the suit. Talks about the webbing, how it goes onto the wrist pegs. So pretty much like what we talked about on the other Spider-Man figure. That's the top of it there. And the bottom says, talks again about the webbing going into his fist where the little hole is, that these little bitty swirly pieces go at the bottom. It's interesting. Really interesting. And then it shows how to assemble the figure stage, which we discussed. So there you see how the webbing goes on the top of the fist and at the bottom of the fist, showing how it would be in a displayed area of the wrist shooters and the webbing coming out of the bottom of the fist, and then the display stand. Do not bend the foots over 45 degrees or you'll break them. Guys, if you have this, let me know. Are your feet that way? Is that how he came from Hot Toys? Or did I get the raw end of a stick? And again, I would be pleased if I felt I paid a good price for them. And I don't know what I paid for them. I need to go look it up. And if I feel I got them for a reasonable price with those broken feet, or if that's how the feet come from Hot Toys, I'm fine. But if somebody busted up this figure and then sold it to me as brand new and it's junk, come on, guys. Don't do your fellow collector wrong like that. We know the hobby. If you guys are collectors, you know what you're in for on these figures. You know you have to have super glue. You know you do. We know shit happens. We know Hot Toys quality is going downhill. None of that's news. Right? Box looks great on this. The black suit Spider-Man is something all of us Spider-Man fans were really looking forward to in Spider-Man 3. We really wanted the black suit. We really wanted to see Venom. And then we were totally disappointed by the whole thing. It was just... Gonna get rid of it after Wanda. Yeah, get it back when Loki's on. Right, good idea. I'm surprised. I thought Mando would be garbage, but it was really good. It was really, really good. 2 seasons, some surprise characters. If you've not seen Mandalorian, man, and you're a 4, 5, and 6 Star Wars fan, you are really missing out. It's done in that flavor. They did it right. They really did it right. I hope moving forward in all Star Wars movies and such will be done with that same respect and love for the franchise and the characters. It's really all I can say. I didn't feel it was done in the manner of episodes 7, 8, and 9, which were done in poor taste, done with no respect or love for the characters, no respect or love for the franchise, and definitely no respect or love for the longtime fans. None. Zero. But for Mandalorian is done right. Yeah, I was really skeptical of Mandalorian. I started watching the first episode a long time ago, and my wife couldn't see it very well because it was very dark. The first episode was in the filming manner. I'm not talking about dark as in like the Dark Knight dark. I'm talking about just it wasn't very well lit up, and she has difficulty seeing images that aren't brightly lit, and so we didn't continue watching it. And then I went back to it, and I've been blown away. Really have been blown away. Yeah. I'm with you. Fire the character you like. Uh, and man, I got to tell you what, man. I wish I had the room and the money to buy all the Mandalorian figures as well. Holy smokes! What an amazing bunch of figures. Sheesh. Oh yeah, the artwork, the conceptual artwork, or the storyboards, or whatever it is that actually is that you're watching is pretty neat. And you'll see sometimes how they had drawn it, how they thought it was going to end up being filmed, and then obviously you just watched the film, and it would not necessarily be the same way that the artwork was depicting it, or they had originally envisioned it. So it's really neat. I love the way they end it with the the artwork. Really neat. Spider-Man Black Suit version with Sandman diorama base. Limited edition collectible. In Spider-Man 3, an alien symbiote corrupts Peter Parker, initially appearing as a black tar-like substance. The symbiote attaches itself to Peter and replicates his classic red Spider-Man costume as a sleek black suit that grants him enhanced power. However, with the enhanced powers comes an overconfidence and aggressive intensity that threatens to override Peter's heroic instincts. The darker color palette of the black suit reflects an edgier hero who is rougher around the edges and free of inhibition, yet still recognizably Spider-Man. Now, I don't remember from Spider-Man 3, you guys remind me, but in the comics, I know for a fact that the black suit webbing came out of the back of the hand because it was the symbiotic fluid being generated. He didn't carry web shooters anymore. I see in the picture here, they're using web shooters. What did they do in the movie? Was it web shooters or did it come out of the back of the hand? Do you guys know? Do you remember? I don't. Sorry. I don't remember. The Sandman base out here. So really, save on Mason. There's your villain. There's your villain. Looks pretty cool. Would have been nice to have the Sandman in his green and black striped shirt. Did they ever make that figure? Will we ever get the Sandman as such? Or is this what we have? Favorite episode of Mandalorian? Duh. Come on, man. Obviously the last one of season 2. I did enjoy, and it's okay to say this, because if you've not seen The Mandalorian now, come on, spoilers are off the list. It's okay to talk about it for real. It's been out for a while. The Ahsoka Tano. Oh, jeez. Man, oh man, oh man. I remember when I was watching the episode, and I forget her name, said to go look for Ahsoka Tano. I literally was like, I'm sorry, who did you just say? Did you just say who I think you just said as to who it is he has to go find? Are you absolutely freaking kidding me? And then the next episode, she wasn't there. So they're still teasing you with that. It's like, come on, you're sending us on this path. Where is she? Oh, and then they really did a good job with that. So that was nice. And then the same thing with the reveal at the end of the episode 2. I liked the comedian. What's his name? Bill. His character was pretty funny. It was good to see him in the series. So we got either the fist of this is really cool. This little sand base is really neat. This is really neat. Or you can go with his mace club, either or. There's a hole in it for the figure stand. This has been displayed, but I mean, I knew it going into it. This wasn't sold to me as brand spanking new, never before displayed or whatever. I know that this was a displayed figure. There's definitely a specific area that this goes on. You can see how it's cut out to fit into a certain area. This is literally actually the direct place it's supposed to go into. There we go. There's a little bit of movement here, I imagine, that you could probably do. I'm not going to, but it's for fact it's cut and designed to fit in only in one area. And that is great. With the Night Monkey and the Elemental, the fire one, another nice, great, I would imagine, base. I've heard you guys talk highly of that base. So, villain collectors, there's a villain right there. Either way, either the fist or the mace. See if I can see if there's a specific way on this also. Yeah, there is. So you want to line it up in that manner, same way that the fist was going. So there you go, either way with that. Let's continue on with this figure. It's exciting. This is exciting. Boba Fett was nice. Obviously, when I seen the armor, that was exciting. That was exciting. I was like, holy shit. It's Boba Fett. But nah, you need to check out The Mandalorian if you're a 4, 5, and 6 Star Wars fan for real. If you're an original series Star Wars fan, then yeah. You for fact need to be checking out The Mandalorian. If you're a Boba Fett fan, you for real need to be checking out The Mandalorian. One of the things that George Lucas has said is that if he'd known that Boba Fett was going to be as popular as he wouldn't have killed him in the Sarlacc pit. Keep that in mind. Plastic clear rod. I think this is taller than any of the rods that have been provided on any of the other figures that I've seen. Definitely none of the Iron Man ones come with this tall plastic rod. So with the old style lobster claws without the back brace, you would put it wherever you wanted to on here to be able to pose Spidey into an action pose with this. That's how that would work. He's going to be in a museum pose, I'll tell you that much. Let's have a look at Toby here. Okay, definitely pissed off Toby. No doubt about that. That's pissed off Toby right there, man. Pissed off Peter. Did a good job with it. Curious who the head sculptor was. Head sculptor K.A. Kim. Don't know K.A. Kim. Head art director Yu Lee. I know that. Head painter J.C. Hong painted this. The diorama base is sculpted by Joseph Sang. Did a good job. Of course, JC painted it. He's the master. He's in charge over there at Hot Toys Korea, where to do the head sculpts. He's definitely the master. Did a great job. Definitely a pissed off Peter. No doubt about it. All right, let's see how lovingly displayed this Spider-Man 3 black suit is. And these ankles are posable, okay? So obviously the same suit, obviously the same body. These ankles are posable, okay? Those are broken. I'm gonna have to give a little contact up with that seller. I don't like that the hands aren't the same color as the body is here. They're just a little off. But I mean, it's because it's different material. Hard plastic versus a cloth. What I'm looking for is busted lines on this. I'm not seeing any. So he appears to have been displayed well. They did the head and neck differently, obviously, because we have an interchangeable head here. That pops clean off, like we would expect. And then the webbing here with this, I mean the suit and the neck are connected. But no, he looks great. I don't see any damage to this suit. So he's been displayed lovingly. Um, and he's not as loose as that guy is. I mean, I can't even crunch him. He's so tight there. Um, Even the neck is tight, shoulders are tight. So this is a good suit. I figured it hasn't been worn out. That guy's been worn out and then sold as new. So yeah, not too pleased right now. If it's one of you guys, man, you better be prepared to come clean. I'm telling you. Don't know if I can get the head on all the way. Feels like it's all the way on. Neck seems a little long. Good looking figure. Really pleased with this black suit Spider-Man. And that helmet looks great. Yeah, that horrible Saturday Night Fever dance. Yeah, a lot of people will cause that the blame of the end of the Spider-Man 3, and maybe it was. I don't think it was. I didn't really have that much of a problem with that. Looking back on it, it seems really terrible, but at the time it didn't really bother me as it doesn't bother me now, truthfully. What bothers me is Venom, the way that they portrayed him, the way that they treated him, the way that they limited him, the whole way that they just had no respect for Venom, and that's kind of shame. I thought Sam Raimi would have known what he was doing. I don't know who wrote it, um, but they really did not do a good job with Venom. Had a very generic base, nothing on there, literally nothing. That makes me wonder if it really is a Hot Toys base. Maybe Hot Toys wasn't marking their bases at this point. Well, that one is. So why is this one not? I wonder if he lost his base. Or maybe, no, it doesn't make any sense. Look into that. See where the base is. Same webbing that came with the red one. Literally, exact same webbing. And the exact same hands. And an extra set of wrist peg adapters for the webbing. And one wrist peg. So he's lost the wrist peg. But this was used. I've broken wrist pegs in the past. So maybe it got broken. I'm very pleased with this Black Spider-Man suit for fact. He's definitely sticking around. Um, Whatever it was I paid for him, I'm pleased with him. 100%. Get some drawer for his hands. I think this is my Spider-Man box. Yeah, this is the Spider-Man box. All the way up here from Secret Warrior Spider-Gwen down to Stan Lee down here. This is all Spider-Man accessories. Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, Mary Jane. Now Ned Leeds, he's in the ends. But I have Gwen Stacy, we have Spider-Gwen in my cataloging system. How I cataloged them. Black suit was evil. It's Venom. It was Venom, remember? 2-pack Hot Toys. I love that silent bomb thingy on Slave One. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I mean, I really loved getting the Mandalorian story, too. What a great story. It is the, what is it? It is the way. It is our way. What is it that they say? It is the way. He's not dead. He's not dead. Find a black suit for him, right? I mean, like the black suit. Get him out there doing the Saturday Night Live dance. And I really like this idea of this coming out of the bottom of his hands. You know, the way they're dressing it now is with this webbing, which I really like. But this is neat too. That's really neat. If I could find any way of posing these figures with their webbing and them still be in a museum pose without damaging the suits. Then yeah, we're going to get that happening for a fact. I don't know what I paid for this black suit. It was well worth it. Well worth it. Very well worth it. Lovingly displayed. Easily, this could have been sold as such. Nearly new. Nearly new. And like I said, I have no problem buying a used figure. I know how to repair them. Just let me know what I'm having to deal with. I can make the decision if I want to deal with that. You know what I mean? Let me make that decision. Don't feed me some story that he's brand new and then it not be. Talking to you, Mr. Amazing. I'm talking to you, Mr. Spider-Man 3 red suit. If you're watching today, calling you out, man. I hope you gave me a good price on it. That's all I can say. For a good price, I'll be happy with them. If you didn't give it to me for a good price, we're going to have some problems. I can tell you that much. I'm going to want some reimbursement or it's coming back to you. I'm going to give you negative feedback. Promise. Not threatening, I'm just telling you the facts. I don't know. I don't remember him saying all that. Pissed off Toby. Toby Head should be on the original Spidey suit. You know, I was thinking that first, but since he's pissed off Toby, I don't think so. Besides, that suit doesn't come, head doesn't come off, so you're stuck with that as that goes. But he's just totally pissed off. So I don't think it would work on anything other than the black suit in that regards. You might be able to put these on some of the Sony PlayStation Spider-Man suits, if you want to go that route. But it's definitely pissed off Toby. It's definitely black suit Toby, no doubt about it. And what I'm hoping is that they'll release these guys with the PlayStation Spider-Man. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for them not to. They should be cranking out these Spider-Man left and freaking right. They've got their new Miles that they're pumping out right now. I think that might be a mistake. Miles is a loved character. I have no problem with Miles, but he's just not as... Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't get the impression that Miles is as big a character as traditional Spider-Man. Okay, yeah, he's cool. I have no problem with Miles. He's a different Spider-Man, and I'm cool with all of that. I have no problem. I'm just saying, if they are going to start judging whether or not they need to continue making Spider-Man based off of the sales of the Miles figures, if Miles doesn't sell well, and I couldn't tell you how Miles is doing in sales, but if they are like, well, hell, we couldn't sell Miles, nobody wants Spider-Man. It's not the same thing. It'd be like comparing the two Quicksilvers from MCU and the X Fox Quicksilver. Two different Quicksilvers. Oh, we can't make Quicksilver because the MCU Quicksilver didn't sell well. What? You know? Or something to the effect of because we couldn't get rid of the Tatari soldiers, we can't make any more bad guys. Sometimes thinking along that line is skewed, and you can't compare things evenly across all of that. So I hope they continue making the PlayStation line of Spider-Man figures. I'll buy every one of them. I swear to God, I will. And I hope they don't, because they've cranked out these Miles figures, a bunch of them. You know, I don't want them to start thinking that, well, since Miles didn't sell, nobody has any interest in Spider-Man. Bullshit. I'm buying these. I'm buying these 10-year figures. Why? Because I love Spider-Man. If I'm going to drop money on a 10-year-old figure, do you not think I'll buy a 2021 Spider-Man of the same thing? Come on. Of course I will. Of course I will. This is the way. This is the way. That's the Mandalorian. Collection obsession. How's it going, man? My red suit Toby is customized to be able to interchange the Toby head and the red suit Spidey head. Who did that? Did you do that? Let me have a look at this. You customized this guy? Did you unsew him here at the neck area? There where the neck meets the chest. You can see where the seam is. Is that what you did? Did you unsew him there and take off that? And then what did you use? Did you just put the head and neck right on there? Is that how you did that? Or did you separate it at the head and neck? Gosh, that's dangerous, man. Brave. If you did this, man, that's a hell of a customization. If you didn't do it, I'm curious who did do it for you. I can see how it can be done. I wouldn't say easily, but I can see how it can be done. Man, I'd be scared to do this. Maybe you disassembled the seam that goes all the way from the top of the head down to the back of the neck, pulled it out that way. I don't know. How did you do it? The guy I bought it from customized it, but it looks good. So is the neck sewn? Is the neck material on the neck still, and then the head just sits on the red and silver neck? Is that what you have, or is this all this material gone, and the top of the suit is where the top of the suit is, and the head and the neck are flesh? Which is it? Obsession, collection obsession. Which did he end up doing, and how does it look? You know, the suit is in great condition. Um, like I said, he's just been displayed to death, and these should not be this wobbly. They're broken. I really want to keep this guy. I really do. I'm just really pissed off about that right now. Really pissed off. Robert, did you cut the fabric, then glue the neck? Yeah, exactly. My question. My question exactly. The red head was customized to look the way the black head looks. Okay. Um, I bought that neck and Back to the Future Marty. Now I need a doc. Yeah, right. So what they do with the neck collection obsession after they did the head, and I understand exactly what you're saying here. They this obviously is as such on this black head. I'm following you exactly what you're saying. I'm curious though, what happened to the neck? Is the material that was on the neck that they folded underneath here for the head, and then what do you have? Do you then have the Toby head with a neck with a flesh neck, or did you have material here also? I guess that's the question that we're really curious about. The neck fabric was cut and is glued to what? To the neck? Is it look? Does it look like this after it was done? Is it literally just as such with this neck? If you're happy with it, keep it. As long as you're happy and you think you got a good deal. Exactly. That's where I am, CBS Sci-Fi. If the price is right on this, okay, even though he advertised it as brand new, I'm gonna keep it. I won't have any problem with it. It's fine. It's a great looking suit. The suit's in great condition. The body is wore out. But if I paid $800 for this or something stupid like that, there's going to be a problem. That's what I'm saying there. Collection obsession. Lately, just buying famous head sculpts, then customizing later. Oh, good idea. Got really good one. Old Harrison Ford from Blade Runner. I ordered that body. That I forget who's making that. I've got that on pre-order. All the Blade Runners I want. I missed Joy the first time. I thought she was overpriced, and I didn't buy her. I've ordered Joy Now 2.0, the second release of Joy. I'm really excited about that from the Blade Runner 2049. Blade Runner is my absolute favorite movie, all-time absolute favorite movie, hands down, hands down. I've seen all 5 versions of the movie. I own all 5 versions of the movie. I own the movie in DVD and VHS, and I own all 5 versions of the movie: the international version, the American version, the brown-eyed version, the director's cut, and the final cut. It's the 5 versions of the first Blade Runner movie. So you have Brown Eyes, which is the screening version of the movie. Then you have the American version and the international version. And the international version has a separate name. I forget what they call it now. And then there was the director's cut, and then the final cut. And each one of them are just a little bit different in all 5 versions of that movie. Love it, hands down. My absolute favorite movie, Blade Runner. Second favorite movie, Princess Bride. For fact, Princess Bride, second favorite movie of all time. Period. Those 2 movies, Blade Runner and Princess Bride, best 2 movies, in my opinion, of all time. Casablanca, probably number 3. True. Yeah, to the neck looks just like Black Suit Spidey. Good job. I wish I knew who did that. That's clever. And I'm curious how they did that. They must have really took some time. I'm going to assume what they probably did, because there's a lot of material here. Okay, and it could probably be stretched easily as such. He may have used 2 Spider-Man to do this. When these were available new, you could buy multiples and do such. But I can also see how you can stretch this cloth to get it to go more area than what it is. So I'm curious if he disassembled it from the body, or if he kept it assembled to the body as such, and then possibly just cut right here. Do you know whether it appears that it was unsewn from the body first and then reattached, or was it just possibly cut right here what he needed and then just sewn over like this and then tucked under as such? I'm asking because this is really interesting, actually, and there's a lot of customizers, I think, here who are intrigued with this as well. And man, you really have a sweet piece if that's the case, man. I tell you what, I mean, with that being the case, not if that's the case, with that being the case. Store my bonds, yeah, $800 little truck, little fire truck. Just need Pierce Brosnan. You have all the other Bonds? Nice. Wasn't there a Bond before Sean Connery also? Come on, you old James Bond diehard fans. Diehard fans. Come on, James Bond fans. Was there a James Bond before Sean Connery? I think there was. I think he did one movie, didn't he? My Harrison Ford head sculpt looks awesome. He looks nice and grumpy. Was thinking using it as an Air Force One custom. Oh yeah, because he played the president, didn't he? But doesn't match. He was much younger. Also need a pointing finger. I noticed that Big Bad Toy Store is selling a group of hands that go along with one of their figures bodies. I don't remember what it is, but it's 1/6 hands, different positions of hands. A group of them for like $15 or something. So if you need hands, check those out. I don't know what skin tone they actually match. It tells you what body they're supposed to go with, but it might be something looking into if you need hands. I seen it in a Big Bad Toy Store the other day. You bought a custom red Spidey off of eBay years ago. I didn't have the balls to do it myself. So that's the one you got, the one you're talking about? You bought him off of eBay? Was that the one? Yeah, I do it. He looks better with the Toby head sculpt. Yeah. Um, yeah, I agree. The fabric for the head is tucked under and glued in place. What about the fabric for the neck? Same thing. And does it appear that they did not disassemble it here? Does it appear that this was still sewn properly on this, and that they cut the fabric? Is that what it looked like? Or does it look like the fabric is proper and he used two Spider-Men? I guess that's what I'm curious about, is whether or not this can be done with just the purchase of one of these Spider-Men. He's not going to stand on his own because of his broken feet. Can you do it? I'm not trying to dwell too much on this, but I am really intrigued over it. Can you do it with one Spider-Man, do you think, to get this same effect? Or did he use two Spider-Men because of the amount of material that was required in order to tuck and cover on both of these? And does it appear that he left this sewn intact here and cut the material here? What does it look like as you're looking at it? Or do you remember? I mean, are you close enough to your figure that you can examine it for us? Roger Moore, George Les, that was the guy that was before Sean Connery. You're right. George, I don't know how to say his last name. You're right. That's who it was. Do you have him? That's going to be probably the hard one. There was a TV movie for Climax back in the 50s, name of Barry Nelson, RE007. Really? Interesting. I did not know that. Lazenby. There we go. David Niven played Bond before Connery. Really? Really? In Casino Royale, the original version? Wow. How about that? Had original red suit Spidey, but sold it to get the custom red suit Spidey. I think you did. Since you've got a Spider-Man, I can't say if, because you have it. Since you have a Spider-Man with that custom head, oh man, jeez, good job. Casino Royale original version, right? Roger Moore also played Bond before he was cast as Bond in a skit. Really? I didn't know that. Roger Moore, I think, was the one that came after Connery, right? And then it was after Roger Moore was the guy before Pierce Brosnan. I forget his name. Timothy Dalton, right? So Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan. Was Daniel Craig after Pierce Brosnan? Was there someone in between Pierce and Daniel? Leave them as they are. Barry Nelson, forgot about him. Barry looks so American. So, I think we've done a lot today. I think we talked about a lot today. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. It's been over 2 hours now. And I don't like to keep y'all too long. We've definitely got some great conversation going on here, though. The order of movie bonds. And I'm curious if you're going to be able to build all of your bonds with all of the guys that played him, even those obscure ones, right? That's going to be cool to do. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in. We've got more stuff, obviously, to get going. I might do one of these weekends. We'll be building a Detolf. I don't know. Each of these Detolfs are built by myself. They advise that you use 2 people to do it. I've been able to do it by myself. It's not easy, but it can be done. The first one I built backwards, and I paid attention to it. I made sure for fact that I was knowing that I had to put it on the right way, and I didn't. I put it on wrong. It's absolutely crazy that I can't believe that I said, okay, make sure it goes this way because it's going to be wrong if you do it the other way. And I did it totally the wrong way. Totally did it the wrong way. Connery, Lazenby, Moore, Dalton, Brosnan, Craig. There you go. So Lazenby was between Connery and Moore. I thought there was somebody before Connery. I think he just cut the fabric at the neck and glued the neck fabric to the neck portion of the body, and then he pulled the head fabric and tucked it and glued the head fabric. So that's looking at this, I would agree that that would probably be the best way to do it is to cut the fabric right there. I don't know how best to cut the fabric. You have to be very brave to do that. And I got to tell you, anytime you customize a hot toy figure, any of you that have customized or attempted to customize a hot toy figure know that you've got to be very brave to start cutting into your hot toys figure. You better know what you're doing. But yeah, I can see that. I won't be doing it, but I'm glad to get that information from you of how he did it. It appears that he cut it between the head and the neck, and then used the rest of the fabric from the neck and tucked it up to do this here, and then tucked the underneath here. I bet that looks great. I bet that looks really good. I bet that looks great. Not really getting Lazenby and Dalton. Yeah, Dalton really was. Everybody wanted Pierce. So those of you that remember, after Roger Moore quit being James Bond, Pierce Brosnan was in a television series called. It was a detective series, and this woman was the detective, and she used a pseudonym because nobody took her serious as a detective with a female name, so she made his name up, and I forget what the name of the show was. And then Pierce became that guy more or less as the detective, and he was just a handsome, suave character, and everybody wanted him to be Bond because he had the accent, he had the look, he was just a handsome man. And Pierce was tied in the contract. He couldn't get out of that television contract. He couldn't play Bond. So in the meantime, Timothy Dalton got chosen, and he did a great Bond, but he just wasn't what everybody wanted. And I hate to say that for Timothy Dalton. I hate to say that he just wasn't what the masses wanted. The masses wanted Pierce to be their Bond, and then Pierce finally was able to get out of the contract, or the contract expired, whatever it was he was in for the show. I think it was called. God, I don't even remember what it was called. But then he was able to be Bond, which is what everybody wanted. Everybody wanted that. Connor was the first cinematic 007. David Niven was Bond in a spoof of Casino Royale in 1967. Then George Lazenby, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, and lastly Daniel Craig. Beautiful, thank you. But will they come up? There you go. Keep working hard. Toy Mafia. Next time, love you guys. Max King is right. Props. Max, was David Niven before Connery in that spoof? Oh, good question. Remington Steele. That was the show that Pierce Brosnan was in, and like I said, the woman was the detective. She was actually the one doing the work. She had the intelligence and was the one solving the crimes. And she just used Remington Steele as the name, and she always tell people that Remington was the one that was doing the work when it was her, and he just showed up and assumed the Remington Steele identity, but she was the true detective in that show. Love Remington Steele, wondering why it's no reruns. Yeah, interesting. That is interesting, isn't it? I will try to take pictures of custom red suit Spidey and email them to you when I get it out of storage, or messenger them to me, Facebook Messenger if you wish. Laura, who's Laura? At the same time, Connery was starring in You Only Live Twice, whilst Niven was in Casino Royale in the same year in 1967. Interesting. Laura Holt. Is that the Remington Steele actress? Cool. Thank you for that. By the way, if you guys want to help produce the show, or if you appreciate what I do for you here, throw me a tip. www.patreon.com/Siri Emerald. Throw $1 my way. It's a tip, just like you would a waitress or a waiter that take care of you in a restaurant. Throw me $1. I get 77 cents of it after Patreon takes their fees, and then I got to report it as taxes too, so it's taxable income. So after it's all said and done, I'll probably get 50 cents out of that. But yeah, I would love that if you can. If you can't, don't worry about it, man. I mean, I'm buying my own figures. But it's a way of showing your love and appreciation for me. Same thing as the waitresses here in California. There is no waitress wage in California. The waitresses and waiters in California make the same amount of wage as the young people working at McDonald's or the people working at McDonald's. Minimum wage is minimum wage no matter what job you do here in California. Except I think farmers have a different job title description. They get paid differently. But there's no $2 an hour wage here in California. So when you're tipping your waiter or waitress in a restaurant here in California, you're paying them above the $12 an hour or so minimum wage that they're getting. So same thing. If you like what I'm doing, throw a tip my way. I'd appreciate it. Love it. Like, subscribe, share. That helps get these videos out. And I'm going to be here every Saturday. I think only twice I've ever missed a Saturday. Once when my wife had her issue, and once when I just didn't feel like unboxing it. I had nothing to do. There was really nothing going on. And I just didn't feel like I think I was ill or something that day. Rather than that, man, I'll definitely see you next week. Got a lot of stuff to go through, a lot of stuff to do. And comment, tell me below what you think or what you want me to open up next. And I'll definitely be here. Stephanie Zimbalist was the actress. Laura Holt was the name of the character. Stephanie Zimbalist was the actor for Remington Steele. Actress for Remington Steele. Thank you. There you go. There you go. 2 verifications there. Love the Saturday chat. Love you guys, man. I love spending the time with you. And my wife loves that you guys are here. And she wants to tell you that she's on the mend. That's her words. She's on the mend. So she believes she's doing well. And that's what it's all about. As long as you have that confidence in yourself that you're healing, that really gets you healing the best. So, yeah, that's what's going on with me. So I'll see you guys. Peace. Love you guys. Catch you on the next video. And happy collecting, man. See y'all. Peace.